Okay, so this was last week's extra practice. I'm going to go over those with you just to tell you what they are. Feel free to read them with me just to make sure that we are saying the same word. Number one is pluta. Pluta. Number two, blumpew. Blumpew. Number three, chu-sampa. Chu-sampa. Number four, shoe-tub. Shoe-tub. Number five, there's this one, drew-muppa, that Susan pronounced so perfectly. Drew-muppa. Number six, shoe-tumdra. Shoe-tumdra. Just a quick review. This U is going to say oo because there's another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. The tap 2 rules when you come, we're going to do this a lot today. When you come to a vowel, look at the next 2 letters. If either one of them is another vowel, then the vowel that you are on is probably going to say its name or its long sound. That's why that says oo and this one doesn't, because this one only has 2 consonants after it. This says oo, this says and A's at the end always say So that's why this word is shoe-tundra. 7, prunstoop. Prunstoop. Number 8, sumptru. Sumptru. Word was going to be hard. It's probably because of that R. Number 9, lutundroop. Lutundroop. And number 10, gloomapru. Gloomapru. Isn't it interesting that when you just look at these words, before you have learned how to read them, they probably look pretty intimidating. I just finished a book, a novel, and it had a lot of Welsh words in it. What's the language that the Welsh speak? It's not, is Welsh a language or is it just a nation? Anyway, I think they speak, is it Dutch? I don't know. But there is these crazy words in there. And I'm a wordy. I love words, right? And when I was looking at this, these pages with these crazy words in there with like 3, 4, 5, 6 consonants in a row that just made no sense, I just kind of just skipped it. I'm like, holy smokes, there's no way I'm going to be able to read that word. Until the author of that book had a YouTube video of why those words are pronounced the way they are. And then when she explained it to me, like, oh, and then I could read them and I felt so dang smart, guys. I felt like I was bilingual. But it was interesting how as soon as I just realized why that scary looking word says what it does, all of a sudden the mystery was taken away and I could read it. So when you see these words at the beginning, they might look intimidating, but when you know how to break them down, that fear and anxiety is going to really decrease. Okay, so let's do some phonemic awareness exercises for today. Can you please put in the chat how many sounds are in chips? They're in chips. Put in the chat. Chips. I want it to be plural with that S on the end. Chips. When you extend the sound, when you stretch it out, it sounds like this. The ch is a fast sound. The CH makes a very fast sound, ch, like a karate chop. So that one's fast, but the rest, except for the P, can be extended and stretched. Chips. So there's 4 sounds in chips. Ch, I, s, I, s. That's in chips. How many sounds in stretch? Now this one's going to be hard. There might only be a few of you that get this one correct, so don't feel bad if it's difficult. How many sounds in stretch? Getting a lot of 5s, some 4s. Okay, let's count. So we have st, ch. Stretch has 5 sounds. St, ch. So a fun fact on the TCH at the end of stretch. Stretch is spelled S-T-R-E-T-C-H. That TCH is called a trigraph. Tri meaning 3, graph meaning letters. 3 letters that make one sound. The T is silent, you don't hear it. And when you're going to spell a word, here's how you're going to know if you should use a CH or a TCH. Are you ready for this? This is the best spelling hack. You are always going to use a TCH if it comes right after a short vowel, like stretch or hitch, hitch. The same is true for the other trigraph, DGE. DGE instead of GE will come right after a short vowel, like fudge. So you have the digraph TCH versus the trigraph TCH versus the digraph CH. You use the longer one when you're spelling right after a short vowel, like pitch. Just a fun fact. It's hard to remember all this stuff, but I'll try to say little facts like that often enough that pretty soon you'll be able to just remember them. Okay, how many sounds in? Here's a trigraph in here again. Kitchen, kitchen. Chat. Kitchen. Let's count. When I say the sounds of this word, I want you to pay special attention to the 2 vowel sounds. The short I sound and the short E sound are the most easily confused. People will confuse I and E when they're reading all the time because they sound so similar. But I want you to pay attention to the shape that my mouth is in. When I say I, my mouth is going to be in a smile with my teeth just open enough that a piece of paper can fit through. When I say my mouth is going to be open medium. Any more, and it would be an I. I. Okay, so the sounds in kitchen are k, I, ch, n. You're muted, so try to say those sounds just like I said them. K, I, ch, n. Kitchen has 5 sounds. Excellent. That one was a hard one too. Okay, well, let's go to our new reading rule today. And welcome to O month, everybody. So O is not an easy letter to learn, but you're all intelligent adults. So I have every confidence you're going to pick this up. Today is just a review of the tab 2 rule because today we're going to go over the difference between the long O sound and the short O sound. The long O sound will make its name, O. Short O sound, your jaw is dropped pretty significantly, and it will say ah, ah, like olive. So the rule is, the tab 2 rule for today, it's the same for every lesson, but at the beginning of every vowel month, we go over it in depth and detail. So when you come to that O, you're going to look at the next 2 letters. If either one of them is another vowel, then that O is going to say O. If not, it will say ah. Let's try it. I'm excited about O month. You're going to learn so much. There's a lot to learn about O. It's kind of like A. Okay, so I'm going to circle. Let me stretch this out just a little more. I'm going to circle my vowels because if you can read the vowels, you can read the word. Figure those guys out. Tap 2 on this first O. Yes, there is another vowel, 1 or 2 doors down. So yes, it's going to say its name. O. Tap 2 on this O. No, there's not another vowel, 1 or 2 doors down. So no, it's not going to say its name. It's going to make a short sound, ah. So when we pencil read this word, it's O, D, ah, T. O dot. O dot. O dot. Try yours. Yep. So when you pencil read it, this O is going to say O because there's another vowel 2 doors down. This O is going to say ah because there's not another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. So when you pencil read it, it's O, T, ah, D. O Todd. O Todd. O Todd. All right, number 2. Circle my vowels, and I'm going to tap 2. This O has 2 consonants after it, so it's not going to say its name. It's going to make its regular short sound ah. That's supposed to be a breath. Looks terrible. When you see a curved line like that, it's called a brev. It means it's a short sound. This vowel does not have another vowel 1 or 2 doors down, so it's also going to say ah. I'm going to look for my VCCV reading hack. VCCV is vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. If you can find that pattern within a word, it makes reading it so much easier because you can put a line straight down the middle and then you can read 2 shorter words. So I don't see a VCC here, so I can't use it on this word, but I'm going to keep an eye out for that. So when I pencil read this word, it's going to be S, T, ah, N, D, ah, P. I'm going to go 1 letter at a time, just so I don't miss any. St, sta, ston, stond, stonder, stondra, stondrop, stondrop. Quick question here in the chat, and it's not a silly question. Is ST a digraph? Good question. ST is not a digraph. It's a 2-letter blend. A digraph means they have to make only 1 sound. So for instance, SH is a digraph because it makes only 1 sound. CH is a digraph because it's 2 letters that makes 1 sound. PH is a digraph, 2 letters that makes 1 sound. ST makes 2 different sounds. St, st. So it's not a digraph, it's a 2-letter blend. Excellent question. I'm so glad you asked. You know I love questions. Okay, let's start your number 3. Go ahead and mark it. Okay, when we pencil read this word, we have a p, l, ah, n, st, ah, p. That's a lot of letters to remember the beginning ones to the end, so I'm going to do 1 at a time. Pull, pla, plon, plonce, plonst, plonsta, plonstom, plonstomp, plonstomp. I have a cold, so all of my N's are nasally. Let's see if I can say it correctly. Plonstomp. I think that came out right. Plonstomp. Okay, let's try my. So here on the first O, I'm tapping 2, and I see that there is another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. So yes, that O is going to say its name. the trick, the kind of little, the little easy way to remember that is if you can answer the question, yes, there is a vowel 1 or 2 doors down. So yes, it's going to say its name. Or no, there's not another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. So no, it's not going to say its name. On this first one, yes, there is a vowel 1 or 2 doors down. So yes, it's going to say its name. On this one, no, there's not another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. So no, it's not going to say its name. So this one's going to say O. This one's going to say ah. When you pencil read it, it's O, S, ah, S, O sauce. O sauce. Try yours. Okay, so when you pencil read it, this first one's going to say O. This next one's going to say ah because of the tap 2 rule. So we have O, ah, S, olas, olas. Will you please put in the chat how you're doing so far so I can just gauge how the class is doing? Just one word. How are you doing? Good to hear that. Excellent. Okay is okay. We like okay. Okay is progress because you're learning. Those wheels are turning. Nice, Susan. Excellent. Thank you for sharing with me how you're doing. Okay, number 4. Circle my vowels. If you can read the vowels, you can read the word. First vowel is going to say O because yes, there's a vowel 2 doors down. Second O is going to say ah because no, there's not another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. So when you pencil read this word, be careful of that R. R's, N's, and L's are the wicked ones. So we have F, O, N, A, D. Phronod. 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 Okay, try yours. When we pencil read it, we have, here's an L. Make sure that you're the master of that L because it's going to want to do its own thing. O, ah, D. Plomod. Plomod. That one's not easy. Plomod. Plomod. Okay, so I didn't see a V, C, C, V in any of these, unless you guys saw one that I didn't. Vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. Nice, Adama. So let's go down to your extra practice and see if we can find any with a VCC. If you see any in your extra practice 1 through 10, put in the chat so I can help everybody. Is there not one word with a V, C, C, V, vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel? Thank you, you guys. You found one, number 10. So yes, number 10 has a vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. When you see that, when you're reading any unknown word, then you know that it is safe to divide the syllables there. So syllable division is its own hairy beast. You can learn for a whole year about syllable division. This is an easy way to know that you are dividing the syllables correctly. If you can learn to identify V, C, C, V within words, then you know that that is a safe place to divide the syllables. Some people grow up, some teachers, well-meaning teachers, will teach that in order to know how many syllables are in a word, all you have to do is count how many times your hand drops when you say a word, but that is so subjective. And that is not technical. I mean, what about compound word like give me a second. Toothpick. It didn't drop at all. Moonstruck. That one dropped one time. Smoothly didn't drop at all. So this is not a guaranteed, especially for little kids. They're going to be like, my name is April McMurtry. I mean, it's not a very solid, definitive way to determine if you're going to divide the syllables right there or not. There are a lot of ways that people try to tell you. What's some other ones? Oh, clapping. So how many claps in bath? Some kids will go bath. Or how many claps in toothpick? They'll go toothpick. It's hard. It's not easy. Yes, you remember the clapping, right? So yes, each vowel, I'm getting some notes in the chat. Each syllable will have a vowel, of course. You need to have a vowel in every syllable. That is one way to determine how many syllables are in a word by how many vowels are in it that aren't touching. So how many vowels are in a word that aren't touching is an easy way to determine how many syllables are in the word, but it doesn't tell you when and where to divide it. And it matters where you divide it because of where the vowel ends up. So let me get just a little technical for a minute. Vowels on the end will say a completely different thing than vowels in the middle or at the beginning of a syllable. Vowels at the end of a word or at the end of a syllable will say something totally different than a vowel in the middle or in the beginning. That's why it's important to know when and where to divide the syllable, because if you have a syllable all by itself and there's a vowel hanging out there, you're going to say the wrong sound of it. That's why the tap 2 rule works, because you're looking at the letters that surround it to determine what that vowel is going to say. So syllable division is tricky. VCCV is a safe way to know when and how to divide those syllables. So here's one in number 10. CCV. So we can divide it right here. And now we have 2 small, easy one-syllable words. We can do them one at a time and then blend them together. So we know that this O is going to say ah, because there's not another vowel, 1 or 2 doors down. We know this O is going to say ah, because there's not another vowel, 1 or 2 doors down. So here we have flom, and then the next part, ah, CK is a digraph, makes one sound, pock. So that word is flompock, flompock. So VCC is a handy dandy reading hack. Are there any other words in your extra practice that you'd like for me to go over with you before I send you off on your own to do those? Put in the chat if you want me to go over one. Number 8 it is. Yeah, I was hoping you'd pick that one. Okay, number 6 too. Okay, sure. All right, I love number 8. How come I love words so much? I love a challenge. All right, so we're gonna see this O is gonna say O because there's a vowel there. This O is gonna say ah because there's not, the next 2 letters are consonants. This O is going to say ah because the next 2 letters are consonants. Okay, so first I'm gonna tell my brain, this is why we pencil read, to tell your brain that you know every sound in the word. So there's no mystery when you go to blend it. So the sounds are s, o, s, ah, p, t, r, ah, p. I could try to read those all in one go, but I'm going to go one letter at a time so I don't miss any. Sul, slow, slose. That's hard to say. Slose. Okay, keep going. We're on slose. Slow saw, slow saw. Slow som, slow somp, slow somped, slow sompter. This is nuts. Slow somp tra. Slow somp trom. Slow somp trump. Slow somp trump. Good job, Adama. She's clapping. Are you clapping for me or for you? I'm hoping you're clapping for you. Well, yes, good job. You got that's amazing. Slow somp trump. That P is probably going to be the trickiest one to get. Slow somp trump. You're going to want to say slow somp trump, but get that P in there. Everybody try it. Okay, we have 1 more minute. Let's try number 6. I had a request for 6. So this O is going to say ah because the next 2 letters are consonants. This O is going to say ah because the next 2 letters are not vowels. TH is a digraph. It's going to make 1 sound. It gets 1 dot. TT, you don't need 2 dots. You're only going to say it 1 time. It gets 1 dot. So when I pencil read it, it's ah, ah, d. Thoughtrod. Pay attention to that R. Thoughtrod. Thoughtrod. Not easy. Those are not easy. But if you can read those, you can read anything. And now you have the tools to read them accurately and confidently. I would go 1 grapheme at a time, 1 letter at a time. Even if you start with just 2 or just 3 and then put a line there and stop, then that's a success. If you want to try adding 1 more letter and then stop and make sure that you've said it correctly, success. You don't have to read all of the letters to practice reading. Practice reading is applying what you know accurately to the point where you're confident about it. So if that means breaking that 9-letter word down to 4 and stopping there because you're confident with it, then that is progress. Okay, I did good, so happy. I'm so happy about that, Isabel. And then I have a question about a private lesson. So in your course in the module next to the date, under the date, you're going to see this PDF. You'll see, and then you'll see the Zoom link. And then, no, you won't. You'll see the link to this lesson the next day. Underneath that, you will see a link to the, by Adama, you'll see a link to get a private lesson with me. Okay, yes, all of them are fake words. Welcome, Jamie. We read nonsense words so that you don't rely on memory. I don't want you to rely on words. You guys almost all know how to read already. You're just trying to fine tune those skills so that you're more confident, more fluent. I don't want you to rely on memory. I'm going to teach you how to read nonsense words so that you will know how to read any word perfectly. You're welcome. Okay, you can feel free to unmute. I have a couple minutes if you have any questions, or you can put it in the chat.